Hey everybody, today I'm going to be talking about Mormonism. My name is Aaron, I'm very interested in religion, so this is my first video on this channel talking about all things to do with Christianity and world religion. And in today's first video, I'm going to be talking about my experience with Mormonism and Mormon missionaries. So I'm not going to lie, I find Mormonism fascinating, and I will try to be respectful with how I word things, but at the end of the day, they do have some pretty unusual and distinctive beliefs, and that is what makes them fascinating to me. Mormons first got on my radar when I was about, I think, 13. I found that documentary video called The God Makers, where they have that cartoon called the Banned Mormon Cartoon, talking about how Mormons believe they get to become a god when they die and all of that, and I was just fascinated by it. I didn't believe in it. I didn't really want to give it any credence, but I was just fascinated by that idea that there are people who believe that you can become a god when you die. And I know that some Mormons are going to be angry in the comments. The comments of this video is probably going to be like the Wild West. But the historical understanding, from what I understand, has been they believe they get to become a god and get their own planet. And it's only been in recent decades they have kind of played down that belief. Now, I remember when I was about 13, some Mormon missionaries came to the door. I was in 8th grade, and I was asking them about, like, if they were wearing their magic underwear, and my dad didn't know much about Mormonism. He was like, "What? You're asking them if they're wearing underwear?" He thought I was asking if they were wearing underwear at all. So I don't remember that encounter very much, but then fast forward, I was studying abroad in Europe, and I was kind of lonely. I wanted some American friends, so I saw these Mormon missionaries walking down the street one day in northern Italy where I was living. So I just called out to them on the street and started a rapport with them, and I probably knew 20 different Mormon missionaries during that time. I went to their church briefly, but I was in contact with the missionaries for about a year and a half, and great people. I had great fellowship with them. They were great friends to me. But of course, they didn't convince me that their religion was true, or else this channel would probably be all about Mormonism. I have one particular memory that I remember of going out with the first pair of Mormon missionaries that I met, and we were getting dinner, and I asked them, they told me, "Oh, you know, there's a lot of negative things being said about our church and blah, 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 and a lot of propaganda." And I was like, "Oh, I understand." And I said, "Well, I saw this documentary called The Secret World of Mormonism." And to their credit, there are some false things in that documentary, even though it is very entertaining, and I do highly recommend watching it. I said, with a title like that, maybe it is a bunch of propaganda. They kind of laughed and said, "Oh, yeah." And I said, "Well, what I have heard, not only in that documentary, but from other things, is that you guys believe that God the Father was once a man who lived on another planet and who worked his way to becoming a god through being a good, obedient servant to the God of his planet, and that he created this planet, and then we have the potential to become gods too and move off and create our own celestial homestead," and all of that. They got very sheepish. I could tell with their body language. They kind of withdrew, and they said, "Oh, we do believe that." So I thought it was kind of silly, but they were great people. They gave me and my friend a tour of the Mormon church in the town I was living in, and then eventually my friend's interest tapered off, but they were good friends to me for a year and a half. They gave me a copy of the Book of Mormon that they forced it on me. I didn't want it, but they insisted and basically forced it on me. They even wrote their testimony in it. So that's pretty much it. This isn't going to be a very long video. My experience with Mormon missionaries was positive for the most part. I mean, they do believe a lot of things that to me are just bizarre, but that's true about all religions. Someone somewhere is going to find your religion bizarre. So that's all for this video. Give me ideas in the comments below for videos that I can make. I want to start making videos about world religion. I want to go visit different churches and temples and synagogues and mosques and interview members of the clergy and stuff like that. So if this is up your alley, please like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps me out because doing those things shows the YouTube algorithm that my content is worth promoting.